Yo, what's going on today, fam? So I'm super excited today. We're gonna be starting in the cam swap on my C5 Z06. So just to go over the parts that I have, I got a new dampener bolt. I got an ATI super damper, non-underdrive. I got a 160-degree thermostat. Got a new OEM water pump. I got a Melling high oil pressure oil pump. And I got a Summit Racing cam. This is a GM ASA cam spec. I got a timing chain dampener. Got a new, I think it's the LS2 or the LS3 timing chain. New gaskets, and then all my fluids that I'll need to do it, and a new oil filter to do an oil change. So, like, first we're gonna get into the trunnion upgrade, which is these right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started up on these with taking apart my coil packs and my valve cover. So I'm gonna have to remove my alternator, I'm gonna have to remove the coil packs, and then I'll be able to access the valve covers from there. So let's do it. All right, y'all. So to actually remove your coil pack cover, so you're gonna have to undo this clip right here, and then you have to undo the actual like mounting bolts, which are a 10mm, and you'll need a deep socket for that, or a wrench, that could work too. And you'll just start taking all those off. And to remove this alternator power cable, that's a 13mm right here. And then to remove the actual alternator bolt itself, that is a 15mm right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and knock all that out right now, and then we'll get to the next part. All right, y'all, so I got all of the coil pack covers off. I got my alternator off. I had to take off my drive belt right here. It's super simple. The pulley is right there, and that's a 13mm. You just push, well, you just rotate that in towards you. Obviously, I had to take off my spark plug wires. So now, like, these are the actual, like, valve covers are exposed, and they are 8mm bolts. There's 4 of them total. They shouldn't be torqued on too tight, so just loosen those up and you're good to pull off your valve cover and gasket. All right, y'all, so we're going to loosen all of the rockers that have no tension on them. So, like, if you look at this one has tension. So, like, we're not gonna loosen that one yet. Like, we're gonna have to rotate the whole engine. All right, y'all, so I got all of my rockers removed. I took out the whole, like, rocker assembly. You know, just lift it straight out. But one thing I did have to do was use a 24mm wrench, but, like, I had to use the one that was curved, and just to be able to get the correct angle to be able to turn the motor to take pressure off of the actual, like, rocker itself. But got that off now. So got all of my trunnions on my rocker arms now, as you can see. So moving on, like, what we've done so far is we're taking off the hood, taking off the intake bridge, and now we're working on taking out the radiator. So, and we also taking off the sway bar, like, just to help when we go to remove our power steering rack. And so that's where we're at right now. I'm gonna eat some lunch, and then we'll get back to it. All right, y'all, so we just now drained the coolant. So right here, it's a 3/8 drive. And so you gotta turn it counterclockwise and then take, like, a screwdriver or something like that, like, just to pry up against it to bring it out, and now have all your coolant coming out. So we're about to take out the fan right now. And so what you have to do is, like, you have to remove, like, the wiring harness from all these little clips. Clip those out, and you have to take the actual wiring harness connector, like, out of your fan. And once you get all these loose, and you just have to push up, like, right here on the fan shroud, and it'll pop out of place. Like, there's no bolts or anything holding it. It just pops out of place like that. And then you gotta try to bring it from the top of the car. That was a fan removal. All right, we got the radiator out just now. You know, after many struggles with this guy right here. Definitely not yin and yanging it right now, but we're getting it done regardless. And so next thing we're gonna do, in order to get access to the actual damper, we're gonna pull the power steering rack. All right, y'all, so we're about to go ahead and drain our power steering fluid. So in order to do that, I'm going to suck whatever fluid is left in the reservoir out first, and then I am going to find the return line and unplug that and drain it there, and then we will commence with unbolting the power steering rack. All right, y'all, and then you also have to do the 13mm bolt on your power steering. God damn, what is this? Shaft.
Everybody knows the shaft.
Yeah. Yeah, so you gotta undo that, right, and just loosen it, and just so you have enough play in order to slide it out, and so you can move your power steering rack. But just keep in mind of like where your power steering rack is. I would recommend, and just set your wheel straight like before you do this, and just so you know like where to line it up like when you go to put it back together. And when you put it back together, definitely use Loctite, because if this comes apart on you and you have no way of steering the vehicle. All right, so I'll let y'all know where we're at right now. So I removed the power steering cooler, and so what's next is I gotta undo the two power steering rack mounting bolts. There's one right here, one right here. Then I have to undo the two lines that are on the power steering rack itself, which is right here and right here. And then I have to push the ABS like module box up. So I'm gonna undo these two bolts also, and then the rack should be good for removal. So let's get it. All right, we got the power steering rack out. As you can see, me and Pocket almost got into a fight. Because some people like to manhandle things, while others like myself like to use finesse, you know what I mean? But the power steering rack is out, it's a little dirty. I'm gonna clean that up a little bit. But now we have access, and we're able to start taking off our damper, start taking off our accessories, et cetera, et cetera. And so we're gonna get into that now. All right, y'all, and so we're using the 3-prong pulley puller right now. Slowly inching the harmonic balancer off. And then once we get this off, then we will take off all of the accessories and whatnot. Pretty tight. Yeah, it's a process. Yeah, but once we get that off, then we'll focus on getting all the accessories off. And so the damper's already off. Now I'm gonna go ahead and remove and the water pump. It's however many 10mm bolts all around it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 it looks like. So I'm gonna go ahead and loosen up those now and pull out the water pump. So I got the water pump off, so now I'm gonna go ahead and remove the timing cover. I may have to remove these pulleys. I'm not exactly sure yet. I will see how that goes, but it looks like everything is pretty clear. So go ahead and knock that out. And we reached our stopping point for the night. I got the timing cover off. I forgot about the 2 bolts, and that's underneath. And so just make sure you pay attention to those. Thanks, Pocket. But yeah, I think overall we got a lot done for today. Like we hit a few snags, but like nothing that was super crazy. So tomorrow we'll take off the oil pump and we'll pull out the old cam, and then we'll get everything prepped to put the new one in. All that good stuff. Like make sure everything's good. But yeah, that's where we at. So I'll see y'all tomorrow. And thanks, Pocket. Bitch. Kidding, bitch. All right, y'all. Well, good morning, fam. We're back for day 2. So the first step we're gonna do today, we're gonna pull out the refrigerant, and we're gonna pull out the condenser in order to like just gain some more space to be able to pull everything out. So we're gonna go ahead and knock that out now, and then we'll commence with like pulling the oil pump and all that good stuff, and we'll get ready to swap this cam. We got the oil pump off. That was 4 10mm bolts. Show you guys, it was these ones, but then on the bottom of your oil pump, Where's the old oil pump? And that's where the pickup tube is. So on the left of it is gonna be a 10mm bolt that you'll have to take off. You just set the engine back to where the two dots, hopefully you guys can see this, there's a dot here, and then there's a dot here. And so those needed to line up. And so we just put the crank bolt back in and rotated the engine. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove these 3 10mm bolts, and I go to the timing chain in order to remove that. And then we'll have access to the to the cam cover that actually holds the cam back. So we're taking off the camshaft cover right now. It's 4 10mm bolts. And so what I did was I took 3 of the water pump bolts and I threaded it into the cam, and just so we're able and to easily grab it. And what you want to do, like before you go to pull out the cam, is you want to rotate it to make sure all your lifters up, and depending on what method you're using, which I'm using a dowel method, and we'll put the dowels inside to hold up the lifters. All right, y'all, so I got my 5/16 dowels. So like on the left side of the motor, so the hole is smaller. So what I did is, so I shaved like one side of the dowel a little bit in order to help it fit. So I'm gonna go, well, first you wanna rotate your cam, like to get all the lifters up, like so. And at this point, yeah, you mind holding that for me? We're gonna go ahead and slide in the dowels. And this should go all the way in. Should feel it touch. Just get it good. And you're good to pull it out. You don't have to turn the cam as you go out. There she is. So I got my ASA cam, I got it all lubed with new oil. So we're gonna go ahead and put it in now. And so when you go to do this, you wanna be real careful and take it real slow as to not damage the cam bearings as you're going in. If you feel resistance, just turn it in. Well, just turn it, don't force it. Just want to support the cam along the way. Ooh.
Like a glove.
And she's in. Oh. Dude, I feel like a surgeon right now. All right, so new cam is in. And I got the cam retaining plate back in. I put the 4 bolts up on there and Loctited them. So like everything, well, all those bolts you took off, like you want to Loctite all those with red Loctite now. And the torque spec for those are 18 foot-pounds. So I'm gonna go ahead and torque those now, and then we'll put back on our cam gear and our new timing chain and our timing chain dampener. So yeah, things about to go back together. I got the timing gear back on and everything. I didn't document it, but I'm gonna walk out through the process. What you have to do is make sure that your actual crankshaft is lined up and where the dot is all the way up. And then you're gonna take your chain, bring it around there, and then you're gonna hold the timing gear forward and slip it in. And then you wanna position it right into where that dot is all the way down, match with that one, and then you have to put it on the actual camshaft itself and bolt it down. And then you want to rotate your engine a couple times, to make sure that every time these dots meet and that they come back center with each other. And if they do, then your car is in timing and you can commence to putting everything back. So as you can see, I got my timing chain back on, everything's torqued down. So now we're gonna put back on the oil pump. So what you wanna do, you wanna put your O-ring on the actual sump itself. Make sure you get a good seal. And then you can go ahead and reinstall your oil pump, but you want to make sure and that it goes on smoothly and evenly so you don't pinch that O-ring. You pinch the O-ring and you won't have oil pressure. And so we're gonna go ahead and seat the damper now. So we have a damper install tool. And so that gets the damper on about halfway, and you use your old bolt to get it on the rest. And then finally, you install the new bolt. So we'll go over all that stuff. And so this will start to seat the damper. And once it goes as far as it goes, and it will reinstall the old bolt to actually torque. All right, y'all. So we're about to install the new OEM damper bolt. And we already got Loctite up on it, and we put some RTV up on the inside to prevent any leaks. And so what you have to do is, you have to install it initially at 37 foot-pounds, and then you got to turn it up 140 degrees more, and then you can actually and torque it to the final torque spec of 240 foot-pounds. So man, we are making progress quickly. All right, so we got our AC belt back on. We got the damper all tightened up. Like my clutch was slipping, so we had to impact it. If y'all run into that issue, you can put some like in the flywheel holes, but yeah, it was just easier to use the impact. So that's what we did on that one, and Loctited the crap out of it. We got our timing cover bolts all tightened. So next, I'm gonna put on our actual water pump. And then from there, I will put on the drive belt on that. And then we will start putting back in our radiator, AC condenser, power steering rack, all that. So we made some pretty good progress. We got the whole front accessories back on, valve covers back on, all that good stuff. So now, time to put it back in the power steering rack. So we'll hop on that. We got the rack back in, man. Like, it's kind of weird how smooth that went back in, I'm not gonna lie. So we're gonna get all those lines, all hooked back up, and we're gonna get the power steering cooler back in. We're gonna fill up the power steering, and then we're gonna move on to putting back in our AC and our radiator. After that, we should be done, man. Oh yeah, and coolant, yeah. Yeah, can't forget coolant. So I got the steering shaft bolt back on, and you need to put Loctite up on that and torque it to 43. And torque it to 43 foot-pounds, and then that is good to go. So next, we're gonna start putting back in our AC condenser and then the radiator, and then we'll put the hood back on, and we'll be good to go. Going for the first startup.
That cam load though.
Success! We're all done. I went to camshaft, it went pretty good. We got everything back together, but I'm running like short on time like always in these videos. Thanks for watching. If you have any comments, please